With Season of the Witch, we got new exotic gauntlets for each of the classes, and with the Warlock, the Briarbinds focus on the Void Soul, giving it some cool bonuses. So I'm going to give you guys my build and show you some cool stuff that you can switch around on the Void subclass, depending on how you want to play. So let's just dive right into it, starting with the exotic. These are the Briarbinds. I'm not going to lie, all the exotic gauntlets this time around look fantastic. So it's perk 1 with the Void. Your Void Souls have a longer duration. They also gain escalating damage and durability as they defeat targets. You can retrieve your Void Souls by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployed. Now, one cool thing to note here is that you can actually go retrieve your Void Soul, and if you have your Healing Rift or Empowering Rift ready to go to use that Void Soul again, you can actually have 2 on the field, 3 on the field. You can have multiple Void Souls on the field, giving you energy and proccing that weaken debuff to targets. Now, obviously, we want to take advantage of certain things on the seasonal artifact. So the first one being Monochromatic Maestro, dealing elemental ability damage increases matching weapon damage, and the elemental weapon damage increases matching ability damage. Bonus granted is 10% for 5 seconds. So we are going to be using the Void subclass in tandem with Void weapons, so we might as well get that bonus trade-off. Again, we're really not going to take advantage of any of the Siphon combo mods or any of the elemental orb mods or anything like that. You could look into elemental embrace. So subclass elemental buffs grant you bonus recovery and damage resistance against combatant attacks of the matching element type. So when we get, gain a void breach, get devour, get an overshield, whatever it is, we basically get more damage resistance to the void damage. So something like Shriekers, for example, we take less damage from, but again, it's not necessary for this. Now for the part that I'm excited about, which is talking about what to use under the Void Walker subclass. We do have some very cool options here. So first off, for the super, I would just go with Cataclysm. Again, it's the Slow-Mo Bomb, big damage, track other targets as well. It's pretty good. For our abilities, I'm opting for the Healing Rift, then Burst Glide, but you can use what you like. We'll only have the 1 melee, which is Pocket Singularity. It does push away targets and make them volatile, so that's neat. And then I am opting for the Vortex Grenade. For our first aspect, you're going to want Child of the Old Gods. Again, this is how we're going to even use the gauntlets in the first place, right? So we're going to cast a Rift. That's going to create a Void Soul. When you damage a target with a weapon, the Void Soul flies to them and drains them, doing damage and adding that weaken proc to them. When a target is being drained, you are granted Grenade and melee energy if you're running the Healing Rift, or health if you're running the Empowering Rift. Again, we are going to be running the Healing Rift, so we're going to get energy back for those 2 abilities. And then defeating a target who is drained by your Void Soul grants class ability energy, so we can get that Rift again. Now for this first build option, I'm going to be opting for Feed the Void as my second aspect. Defeat a target with a Void ability to activate Devour. While Devour is active, Final Blows restore health and extend Devour. Devour, basically, as long as you continue to get kills, you get full health and you get grenade energy back, and extends Devour. It's basically a survivability mechanic. Very, very good. And we're pairing that with the Fragments. First up, Echo of Harvest. Defeating a weakened target creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. It is a -10 to Intellect. The reason we're using this is because, number 1, the Void Soul is going to be proccing that weaken buff all the time, so that's a free Orb of Power and a Void Breach. Plus, when you collect Void Breaches, it actually gives you class ability energy. So, big brain moves on that one. Secondly, we have Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects, our Vortex Grenade, are going to have an increased duration. I'm also using Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. That is a +10 to strength, and the volatile rounds can pop anti-barrier champion shields. Keep that in mind. Then lastly, I'm using Echo of Undermining. Your void grenade weakens targets. That is a -20 to discipline, but also with the weakening grenade, you can also proc Echo of Harvest, since that, weaken target. So now we get a free overpower and a Void Breach again. Now for the second way to have this build set up, for your second aspect, you can go with Chaos Accelerant. If you don't know what it does, it pretty much gives bonuses to your Void Grenade as long as you charge it up. And with the Vortex Grenade in particular, it increases the size and linger duration of the Vortex Grenade. Now, for the Fragments that I'm pairing with this, we still have Echo of Harvest, Echo of Instability, and Echo of Undermining, but we replaced the second one for Echo of Starvation. So when picking up a Void Breach or an Overpower, it grants Devour. It is a -10 to recovery, but with this one, we can still get Devour with this as long as we pick up an Overpower or a Void Breach, which is going to be pretty easy to notice that we are going to be creating a lot of those. So we're going to have proc Devour almost all the time, and an increased damage, bigger grenade. So we have both of those options, whether you want to do Feed the Void or Chaos Accelerant, and some Fragments here. You can look into something like Echo of Vigilance as well if you want to replace Echo of Instability. When defeating a target while your shields are depleted, it grants you a temporary Void Overshield, -10 to recovery. If you need this for survivability, that's fine, but I'm going to show you some weapons here later that can also proc an Overshield. Next, let's go over the armor mods that I'm using, starting with the helmet. So first up, I'm rocking Harmonic Siphon, which transfers to Void Siphon. So rapid Void Weapon final blows create an Orb of Power. We are going to be using Void Weapons, so it just makes sense. I would also recommend using Ashes of the Assets. Gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. Again, we are going to be utilizing the grenade a lot, so we might as well. And if you do have room and you want to use something like Dynamo, or you could use double Ashes of the Assets, but Dynamo reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near targets. We are going to be opting to have that healing rift a lot for the Void Soul, so Dynamo does make sense. On the gauntlets here, I am opting for momentum transfer and impact induction, so when I cause damage with my grenade and my melee, I get cooldowns for both of those abilities respectively, which is nice. And then for the last one, I like bolstering detonation, so it grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade, or if you did want to opt for something like firepower right here. Again, your grenade final blows create orbs of power, you can, but I am going to be creating a lot of orbs regardless of what we're going to be doing here, so that's why I opted for bolstering detonation. On the chest piece, you can honestly rock whatever combination of reserve mods and damage resistance mods that you like. You know, melee damage resistance is good, sniper damage resistance is good, depending on where you're going to be set up with the healing rift. I like harmonic reserves because it only costs 2 versus what void reserves cost, which is 3. If I'm going to be increasing my void weapon ammo count anyway, I might as well spend less energy to do it. On the boots here, I am using Void Weapon Surge. Your Void Weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have any armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time. Essentially, when you collect Orbs of Power, you gain armor charges. Minimum, we can have 3 with this build, and with these blue mods, they each last 10 seconds now. So our Void Weapons can have 30 seconds of bonus damage whenever we collect up an Orb of Power, which is very nice. I'm also opting for Orbs of Restoration. Picking up an Orb of Power grants a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy. And then Innervation reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Power. Again, we are going to be using our abilities a lot here. You can also look into Recuperation, which replenishes health each time you pick up an Orb of Power, but you don't really need it considering we're going to be having Devour a lot and an Overshield. Like I said, I'll show you with the weapons. But another one to look into would be Elemental Charge. So when collecting a Fire Sprite, Ionic Trace, Stasis Shard, Void Breach, or destroying a Strand Tangle has an escalating chance to give you an armor charge. We are going to be creating a lot of Void Breaches on the field on top of Orbs of Power, so if you did want to use this, that's totally fine, but I like this setup I have right here. And then last on the class item, I am opting for Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an Orb of Power. Also, Bomber, reduces grenade cooldown when I use my class ability. And then lastly, Powerful Attraction, automatically collects nearby Orbs of Power when you activate your class ability. Since we are going to be doing that a lot, I am opting for this mod. But if you did want to look into Time Dilation, again, your decaying armor charge now has a longer duration. That takes that 10 seconds up to 15 seconds for that bonus weapon damage. So with 3 armor charges, we would have 45 seconds of that bonus weapon damage. For stats to focus on, first up, we talk about every video, try to have tier 10 100 resilience. It's going to give you a 30% damage reduction in PvE. Survivability is going to be a big thing in general. Next up, I would focus on discipline. Discipline is tied to the grenade stat, and the more we can have the grenade, the more we can take advantage of all of the stuff on the subclass and the armor mods. You can also look into recovery, because recovery is actually tied to how fast you get the rift back, but if you'll notice in the gameplay, we get the rift back pretty quickly anyway, so you don't necessarily need tier 10 recovery, and even with just the base recovery stat, we do have Devour and have a bunch of other survivability mechanics with this. For weapons to use, honestly, as long as you have good PvE rolls with Void weapons, it's going to work out with this build pretty well, but I would recommend trying to find a weapon, Void weapon specific, that can come with Repulsor Brace. Defeating a Void debuff target grants an Overshield. So if a target is either weakened, which we're going to have a lot of, volatile, which we're going to have from volatile rounds from the subclass, or suppressed, and we kill them with this SMG, now we get a full Overshield just from that kill. Extremely crazy survivability mechanic, only because we already have Devour, so each kill we get just replenishes our health on top of that. So having a way to basically get our health up each time and have an Overshield is just absolutely disgusting. If you got through all that and you're still confused about how this build works, I'm going to break it down for you, but honestly, as long as you are utilizing the abilities you have in your arsenal, getting some rapid kills with the weapons, you are going to have really good survivability and a lot of weaken procs. So let's say we're about to go into an engagement. What do we want to do? So first up, we want to create that Void Soul and get Devour rolling, right? So with the Void Soul, again, that's going to weaken all those targets around us. If we are rocking the Chaos Accelerant one instead of Feed the Void, with Feed the Void, all we need to do is get a Void ability kill and that procs Devour right off the bat, whether it's our, the Void Soul, the Pocket Singularity melee, or our grenade. But if we are using Chaos Accelerant paired with Echo Starvation, we need to create Orbs of Power or a Void Breach, which creating the Void Breach is very easy, whether we weaken the targets with Child of the Old Gods or the Vortex Grenade paired with Echo of Undermining. Echo of Harvest is kicking in, so when we defeat a weakened target, it's creating an Orb of Power and a Void Breach for us. So whether we pick one of those up, that's going to get Devour rolling for us, and whenever we get grenade kills, it's also going to give us volatile rounds for our Void weapons. Now that we have all that rolling, we can go pick up our Void Soul buddy and redeploy him at any time. And just note, with Devour, the Void Soul, everything, we're getting our abilities back pretty quickly, so you can have multiple Void Souls on the field. If we do kill a weakened or a volatile target with a weapon with Repulsive Brace, now we have an Overshield on top of Devour, so as long as we continue to chain kills, we will be able to have some really good survivability. Everything else with the armor mods and a bonus, you know, in the helmet, Void Siphon, we're getting rapid weapon final blows with Void weapons anyway. Free overpower right there. Ash to assets, giving us more super energy with our grenade kills. On the gauntlets with momentum transfer and impact induction, doing damage with our melee and our grenade, gives us a cooldown for both of those abilities. Plus bolstering detonation gives us our healing rift back even faster when I damage a target with my grenade, which means, again, another Void Soul can be deployed right when I have that healing rift back up, right? On the boots, again, we are going to be collecting orbs of power very often, so now we have free Void Weapon Surge, that free damage for our Void weapons, and whenever we collect Orbs of Power, we are getting cooldowns for our grenade and our least powered ability from Innervation and Orbs of Restoration. And on the class item, whenever we pop our Rift, Reaper is going to proc, so on our next weapon kill, another free Orb of Power, Bomber kicks in, even more grenade energy, and Powerful Attraction sucks in any orbs around us, which is going to proc everything else on the armor mods, including armor charges. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Briarbinds Void Warlock build. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm actually going to post 2 dim links in the description, one for the Feed the Void aspect and one for the Chaos Accelerant aspect if you want to play around with both of those. And then test out for yourself and let me know what you guys think. If there's something that you like with this build that you're like, hey, this will work as well, substitute this fragment, it might be pretty cool. Again, I am testing stuff out in this game all the time. I'm willing to hear you out. In any event, if you like what you saw, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn the bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another build video here on the channel. If you didn't know, we do live stream on YouTube and on Kick. That link will be in the description. Again, I am switching between both. YouTube is a little more, you know, Destiny specific focus. Kick is usually for my variety stuff. So if you do want to tune in, we are mainly going to be playing Destiny 2. So if you want to hop in for PvE, you know, PvP, dungeons, raids, whatever, again, just hop in the chat. We'll figure something out. And if you want to be proactive, join my Discord. Again, we do have people talking about Destiny 2, wanting to play Destiny 2 together. I do have it set up in Discord to where you can create your own voice channels as well. We are talking about other games in there as well, including PC Tech, anime, and more. And lastly, if you're looking for another way to support me here on the channel, you can always look into becoming a member. If you don't know what a membership is essentially like a Twitch subscription. Again, you're going to get access to the monthly badges, the emotes, and other cool stuff here on the channel. So if you do want some more information, all you have to do is press the join button next to subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!